I want you to picture something for a second. It's 2 in the morning. The house is completely quiet. Then, suddenly, glass breaks somewhere downstairs. Your pulse jumps. Your hands start sweating, and you reach for the handgun sitting on your nightstand. In that moment, the cartridge loaded inside that magazine is no longer an internet debate. It's your response. It's the tool you've trusted with the safety of everyone under your roof. And the difference between one defensive load and another can be the difference between a situation that ends safely and one you'll never forget. That's why this conversation matters. This isn't about chasing hype. It's not about buying whatever ammunition is trending online. It's about understanding why different rounds exist, how they actually perform in the real world, and which ones make sense for the environments you live in every day. Let's get into it. Why hollow points are still the default. There's a reason hollow point ammunition has remained the gold standard for defensive use for so many years. The design simply works. When a hollow point strikes a target, it's engineered to expand in a controlled manner. That expansion creates a larger wound channel, while simultaneously reducing the amount of momentum pushing the bullet forward. The result is exactly what most armed citizens are looking for: effective energy transfer with a lower likelihood of the projectile completely passing through the target. That's a combination that's hard to argue against. You get strong terminal performance while reducing the risk of the round continuing into places you never intended it to go. Over the years, loads like Federal HST and Spear Gold Dot have earned outstanding reputations because they consistently expand and penetrate across a wide variety of handguns and barrel lengths. These aren't rounds that built their reputations through marketing campaigns. They earned them through real-world performance. That's why they continue to be the default recommendation for concealed carriers, law enforcement officers, and defensive shooters across the country. The ammo market today, picked by mission, not habit. One thing many gun owners overlook is how much ammunition technology has evolved. Manufacturers aren't simply making prettier hollow points anymore. They're solving specific problems. Today's ammunition designers are creating rounds intended for tiny carry pistols that still achieve reliable expansion. They're building projectiles designed to fragment in order to reduce ricochet hazards and wall penetration inside structures. They're engineering loads capable of maintaining effectiveness after smashing through automotive glass or vehicle doors. The industry has become much more specialized, and that's changed the way smart shooters should think about defensive ammunition. Instead of carrying what's popular, it makes far more sense to carry what's appropriate for your circumstances. Think about your actual mission. Do you carry a pocket pistol every day? Do you live in an apartment with neighbors separated by thin walls? Do you spend most of your time driving through urban environments surrounded by vehicles? Those answers should influence your ammunition choice. Because the best round isn't always the most popular one. It's the one that matches the situations you're most likely to encounter. Small but mighty. The 380 ACP revival for decades. The 380 ACP carried a reputation as the caliber people settled for when they couldn't carry something bigger. A lot of shooters dismissed it as inadequate, a compromise, a cartridge that simply wasn't enough. But modern ammunition development has changed that conversation. Advances in bullet design, metallurgy, and propellant technology have pushed certain 380 ACP loads into performance territory that would have surprised shooters 20 years ago. Manufacturers now produce lightweight projectiles with carefully engineered shapes. They've developed bonded bullets and solid projectile designs that reliably expand even when fired through extremely short barrels. More importantly, many of these loads still achieve penetration depths considered acceptable for defensive use. The practical advantage is obvious. You can carry a genuinely pocket-sized handgun that offers manageable recoil, quick follow-up shots, and terminal performance that exceeds what many people expect from the caliber. If you're carrying a micro-compact pistol, don't automatically dismiss 380 ACP based on old assumptions. Run modern ammunition through your firearm. Test it. Evaluate actual performance. Let measurable results guide your decision instead of decades old stereotypes. Frangible ammo. Inside, the house safety frangible ammunition exists because some defensive situations require a different set of priorities. Unlike conventional projectiles, frangible rounds are intentionally engineered to break apart upon impact. When they strike soft tissue or hard surfaces, they fragment into tiny particles rather than remaining largely intact. That behavior serves two purposes. First, it concentrates damage in the immediate target area. Second, it dramatically reduces the likelihood of dangerous ricochets or rounds traveling through multiple interior walls. For people living in apartments, townhomes, or densely populated neighborhoods, that's a very attractive characteristic. The same advantages have made frangible ammunition popular in certain law enforcement training environments, where minimizing ricochet risk is important. For homeowners concerned about collateral damage inside a structure, these loads can represent a thoughtful option. But it's important to stay realistic. Every ammunition design involves trade-offs. Frangible rounds can lose effectiveness when encountering heavy clothing, dense bone structures, or more complex barriers. They may perform exceptionally well in some situations, while offering limitations in others. That doesn't make them bad. It simply means they should be selected with a clear understanding of both their strengths and weaknesses. Barrier-capable rounds. When the threat hides behind something real, world defensive encounters don't always happen in ideal conditions. Sometimes there's something between you and the threat. Maybe it's automotive glass, maybe it's a vehicle door, maybe it's plywood, drywall, or another common construction material. And this is where standard hollow points can sometimes struggle. After passing through barriers, some traditional projectiles may deform unpredictably, clog with debris, lose mass, or become less effective once they reach the intended target. Barrier-capable ammunition was created specifically to address those challenges. These rounds are engineered to maintain structural integrity after penetrating obstacles. They're designed to retain mass, maintain stability, and continue delivering meaningful terminal performance after passing through intermediate barriers. Different manufacturers approach the problem differently. Some use bonded core construction. Others rely on solid copper projectiles. Some employ specialized flex tip designs. But the objective remains the same: predictable performance after encountering obstacles. If your daily routine places you around vehicles, urban environments, or situations where barriers are realistic possibilities, carrying barrier-capable ammunition may provide a practical advantage. Many modern product lines specifically advertise barrier-blind performance and frequently demonstrate measurable improvements compared to conventional jacketed hollow points. The tech explained what makes modern rounds different. Let's nerd out for a minute, because the engineering side of this stuff is actually pretty interesting, and understanding it helps separate genuine innovation from marketing language. One major factor is mass distribution and projectile profile. Some bullets shift weight toward the rear or utilize tapered geometries that help them track straighter and expand more consistently, especially when fired from shorter barrels. Another trend involves lightweight, high-velocity projectiles. By reducing bullet weight and increasing speed, manufacturers can create flatter trajectories while often increasing temporary cavitation within typical defensive distances. You'll also see designs featuring progressive noses, penetrator, style tips, and various fluted geometries. These shapes are intended to help the projectile maintain forward momentum through barriers, while still transferring energy effectively once it reaches soft tissue. Bonded, core bullets, and monolithic copper projectiles represent another major advancement. Rather than allowing the bullet jacket and core to separate during impact, these designs help keep the projectile intact, improving weight retention and penetration consistency. Then there are modern coatings and jacket technologies. Polymer coatings and electroplated jackets can reduce fouling inside the firearm, helping maintain reliability during extended shooting sessions and reducing wear on internal components. When you understand these design concepts, marketing claims start making more sense. You begin to understand why manufacturers emphasize certain features and what those features are actually intended to accomplish. Platform dependence. Test in your gun. This is probably the most important rule in the entire discussion. Never assume ammunition will perform the same in your gun simply because it performed well somewhere else. A load that functions flawlessly in a test barrel or someone else's handgun may behave completely differently in yours. Barrel length matters, rifling twist matters, feed ramp geometry matters, slide weight matters. Even magazine design can influence reliability. All of those variables can affect velocity, accuracy, expansion, and overall performance. That's why testing matters. Buy a couple boxes of your top candidates. Run accuracy drills. Conduct reliability testing. Put enough rounds through the gun to build confidence. If possible, collect objective data. A chronograph can provide valuable velocity information. Controlled penetration testing can offer additional insights. And if those options aren't available, at minimum run dynamic drills, practice reloads, practice drawing and firing, practice rapid follow-up shots. Pay attention to how each load affects your performance. The best defensive ammunition is useless if it doesn't run reliably in your firearm. Trade-offs and realistic expectations. One thing every experienced shooter eventually learns is that every advantage comes with a corresponding compromise. Frangible ammunition reduces over-penetration concerns indoors, but it may offer reduced effectiveness through heavy clothing, bone, or complex barriers. Barrier-capable ammunition maintains performance after passing through obstacles, but it may carry a greater risk of over-penetration in open environments involving soft targets. Lightweight high-velocity projectiles can provide flatter trajectories and faster follow-up shots, but they may exhibit different terminal characteristics compared to heavier projectiles. None of these options are universally superior. And that's the point. There is no perfect round. There is no magical ammunition that dominates every situation. There is only the best choice for a specific set of risks, environments, and priorities. Understanding those trade-offs is what allows you to make informed decisions instead of emotional ones. Skills, awareness, and systems beat caliber every time. Ammunition can enhance skill. It cannot replace it. The reality is that awareness, decision-making, movement, and shot placement matter far more than small differences in bullet design. Recognizing a threat early, moving toward cover, using de-escalation when appropriate, making accurate hits under pressure, those are the things that actually save lives. Train with qualified instructors whenever possible. Run stress-based drills, practice malfunction clearances until they become automatic. And most importantly, train with the exact load you intend to carry. Different ammunition can produce different recoil impulses, different sight recovery characteristics, different follow-up shot timing. Those differences may seem minor during casual practice. They matter a lot more when stress enters the equation. Layered defense. Put ammo last, not first. A lot of people focus on ammunition before they've addressed everything else. That's backwards. A smart defensive plan starts with prevention, good lighting, solid locks, alarm systems, situational awareness. After that come non-lethal options, flashlights, pepper spray, other tools that may help resolve situations without resorting to deadly force. Lethal force should be the final layer, not the first. Viewed through that lens, ammunition selection becomes one component of a larger defensive system. Choosing frangible ammunition for home defense, for example, may help reduce risks to innocent people while still preserving a viable last resort capability. The ammunition matters, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. My personal picks, contextual reasoning. If you're wondering how I apply these concepts, here's my thought process. For urban everyday carry with a very small pistol, I tend to favor modern optimized loads designed specifically for smaller calibers and short barrels. I want reliable expansion and controllable recoil in a compact package. For home defense situations where neighbors and thin walls become major concerns, I lean toward frangible ammunition because reducing through wall penetration becomes part of the mission. When vehicles or intermediate barriers become realistic factors, I prefer a barrier. Capable load and make sure I spend enough range time with it, that follow-up shots feel completely natural. Those choices make sense for my circumstances. Your choices should make sense for yours. Different environments create different requirements, and ammunition should reflect those realities. Practical checklist before you commit before settling on any defensive load. Take a structured approach. Buy several boxes of each candidate and test them thoroughly in your firearm. Run both accuracy and reliability drills. Track group sizes, record malfunctions, if possible. Measure velocity and safely evaluate terminal performance using appropriate testing media. Train under realistic conditions with the ammunition you intend to carry. Consider your living situation, whether that's an apartment, rural property, suburban neighborhood, or urban environment surrounded by vehicles. Maintain non-lethal options as part of your overall defensive plan, and revisit your choices periodically as new ammunition designs become available and your circumstances evolve. Ammo selection isn't a one-time decision. It's something worth reevaluating from time to time. Make an informed situation. Driven choice hollow. Points remain an excellent default choice for a reason. But modern specialized ammunition has created legitimate advantages for shooters facing specific challenges and specific environments. The key is choosing ammunition based on evidence, testing, and realistic needs rather than advertising or brand loyalty. Don't let hype make your decisions. Let performance make them. If this breakdown helped you better understand what to carry and why, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into ammunition technology, defensive shooting, and firearm performance. And I'm curious, what load are you carrying right now, and what made you choose it? Drop it in the comments. Until next time, train hard, stay safe, and make sure your tools match the life you actually live.